Hello and welcome to the Legislative Report. I'm State Representative Rosemary Brown, and I'm joined by Tracy Fox today, who is our Traffic Safety Coordinator, and I have to make sure I say this right, with the North Central Highway Safety Network,
Correct.
District 5.
You got it.
Good, so we had to make sure we had the official title right. But Tracy, I've gotten to know you over the last couple months especially, and you are doing so much, and I thought it was really important to do a show on this and on you and your efforts, and to let the viewers know what's out there and what programs are out there. But I've also learned a lot about you, and so I want to give you a couple minutes before we start the show to talk about your background and to talk about you a little bit, and how you got to this position.
How I got to this position? Well, I'm a retired Pennsylvania State Trooper. I was with the State Police for 23 years, and then retired. This job pretty much falls right in line with what I did before with being a trooper. A lot of the stuff that I did in that background helps with this position with traffic safety.
Yeah, and to see the things that you saw as a state trooper, to know the needs of trying to be as prepared and try to prevent things as much as possible.
Yes,
from
educate.
Everything that you dealt with, and educate. So it is wonderful that you have that background so you can understand that side of it as well. So, well, we're thrilled to have you in this position.
Well, thank you.
And we're going to have a lot of education today, and we're going to have a lot of fun too, because some of the things that before we started the show, we were talking about some of these items. I think people will be surprised to know that they're even available,
Yes.
or that there are even options out there, and if you need them, which is amazing. So, but before we get into the CarFit program, which is one program we're going to talk about in detail, tell me a little bit about some of the other programs that you do. And I know the list is pretty long.
It is pretty long.
But just to give the viewers some flavor for what you do.
Okay, I do educational traffic safety programs for kindergarten through high school. We do Sit Back, It's Elementary for the elementary school kids, which talks about why you need to wear a seatbelt, why you need to be in a car seat. We go over how to be a safe pedestrian when you're out walking for like downtown or even in small communities or developments or something like that. And school bus safety, so that they know where to walk around the school, that they need to be seated in the bus, they shouldn't be hanging out the windows, things like that.
You do those mostly inside the school environment?
Yes,
Okay.
inside the school environment. And then for the high school students, we have two different programs that we run. One is called 16 Minutes, and 16 Minutes is a program for kids who are just turning 16 that month, and we do this program every month. So for the kids who are turning 16, they get a little overview of the graduated driving license process. They get to ask questions. We talk about different laws, the different responsibilities of driving and consequences of bad driving. So they do get a chance to ask questions if they have them.
Right, when they're getting their permit.
Exactly, and that's the best time to hit them before they get to develop the bad habits. But we also, hit on the laws of DUI and texting and things like that.
So you're doing that 16 program every month?
Every month.
Because whoever's birthday is that month, so it could be individualized. It's a small group usually?
Usually. It
And
depends on which school I go to. Sometimes I'll have groups of like 60, and sometimes I'll just have groups of 10, which is fine.
Right. So that's great. So that's a preventative measure too, as well as helping them to get educated before they get their final license.
Oh, yeah.
Permits.
Then the other program that we do for high school is called Survival 101, and that is we do some case studies of actual traffic crashes that have happened to teenagers and the outcomes of those crashes, which mostly were fatals, but this is why. They were driving too fast, they didn't have their seatbelt on, they were intoxicated, things like that.
Right, to give them a little bit more eye-opening statistics to everything.
Yes.
Great, great. Anything else on the program wise?
Oh, I'm a car seat coordinator, or a car seat tech, so I can help out with doing car seats and answer questions on car seats.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And making sure it didn't move past a certain, 1
No
inch,
more
1
than an
inch.
inch. Yep, no more
And
than
I
an
remember
inch.
going to get checked, and it was, so that's a great program for parents, because the car seats are tough to get in, and you want to make sure if you're using them that they're in right.
Oh, absolutely, because they are very complicated today compared to when the first ones came out, and there's so many different varieties on the market, and it all depends on your car, it depends on the car seat.
Right. So, and we see those at different programs and at different events, and they can also stop in at the State Police Barracks for
Yes.
that too as well, right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I do CarFit, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, and I also do a mature safe driving program for older adults. So any senior groups or communities that have senior groups, I can go in and do safe driving with them.
So that's great. So I know that you've been doing a lot of those. I have heard several groups say that you have been visiting and they were very impressed with the information that you gave. So that's great. So that's an overall 55 and up kind of conversation about how things change as you get older with driving and safety.
Yes, and it's not about taking your driver's license away,
That's
which
right.
is a big myth of the program, because they all think, oh, she's going to come in and take my license away. No, this is about having you look at what can lead to the possibility of you maybe not wanting to drive anymore.
Right, right. And knowing yourself and knowing the best ways to make it easier for you and safer.
Exactly.
Great, great. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the CarFit program that you just mentioned and the safe driving for seniors. But the CarFit really could be for a lot of different people too, depending on, if you're going through an injury or post-injury or something like that in your life, because I'm even looking at the swivel seat, which we'll talk about. But so talk a little bit about CarFit in general, the program and intentions.
The program itself, it's free, it's educational, and it's interactive. So we interact right with the person that we're dealing with along with their car. So we're fitting their car to help it make them safer for them. So we go through a 12-point checklist, and within that checklist we like to check to make sure that their seatbelt fits them correctly, that it's falling across their shoulder and across their hips, that they're not having issues with it being up against their neck or down on their arm. Or if they even have issues trying to pull it out to put it on. We check to make sure that their mirrors are adjusted in the proper position so that they can see into their blind spots. We check to make sure that their seat is back far enough so they're not too close to the steering wheel, because if they're involved in a crash and the airbag goes off, we want it to be able to do what it wants to do. And to make sure it's in the right position so it's not tilted too far up to their face or too far down on their chest.
And so do you feel as people mature and as they get older that they pay less attention to these kinds of things, or they just get complacent? They kind of think like they know that this is how it should be, and then over time, your body changes a little bit and you have to adjust, but nobody really thinks about that much?
Yeah, they don't, because it's pretty much like you set your car for what you want it to be, and they don't ever think about it again. Because you just get in the car and you go. You don't think about it when you get in the car, oh, let me check to make sure I can actually see in my mirrors, or, let me make sure that my seat is in the right position.
Right, very interesting. So how many of these programs have you done with the senior safe driving? And
let's see, the Senior Safe Driving Program, I've probably done at least 15 times in the county, and I cover Monroe and I cover Carbon, so.
Right, and you're growing, because I know that, you've just really kind of taken off, and it's moving and the word's spreading.
Oh, yes.
So if anybody's watching and you have a senior group or something that you're involved with, I'm sure she's going to get a lot of phone calls from this as well, so it helps. But it is beneficial, and it's really trying to take care of people, which is good.
Right.
Are there any stats right now with senior driving and the safety and anything that you could share?
I don't know off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
yeah. Well, it's hard, and I think probably to have those stats off the top of your head. But if there's anything, that would show, after a certain age, the statistics and how much you have to be much more careful and think about your driving skills and think about, your adjustments to your seats and things like that. That could really make a difference to help people. Okay. So let's look at some of these. Because I found them very, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. And this one I have seen, so only just to help people get out, but I'll let you do. Let's start with the swivel seat, because I think that's for even an injury, just in general.
This is nice because it has a non-slip thing on the back of it, so when you put it on your seat, it's not going to move. But it spins, and it spins 360 all the way around, so if you're trying to get in the car, you can spin to get in. If you're trying to get out of the car, you can spin to get out. And it just helps that you're not struggling so much to try and get in and out of the car.
Right.
And they do make these in different varieties, because this is just a thin one, but I've seen ones that are a thicker cushion, so if they need even just a little bump up to assist with the seatbelt or to be able to see a little bit better.
It helps them with that.
Yeah, it helps them. Yep.
Now, how much does something like that go for, do you think?
These run probably about $25.
Okay.
And you can shop for them online. A lot of people shop online. Some auto parts stores will have them. Some Sears, Walmart, things like that.
Someplace, so they could be readily available in a store.
Yes, they just have to check around, because looking at all of this stuff, not all of it may be available at one store.
Right, right. So what is it? Is it called the swivel seat? Is
Yes.
that what it's called?
It's
Okay.
called the swivel seat.
All right, it's called the swivel. It's very neat. It looks like, and you just put it right on the base of your seat. So it just kind of, you can
Yeah,
turn
and
to get out. It makes it a lot easier to turn to get out of your car.
And what's nice is there's
very
nothing to
creative.
install. You just set it on your seat and you're done. That's it.
Yeah, great gift for somebody that, you would think that.
And
you
this
know,
is
we-
nice even if somebody had injuries, to help them get in and out
That's
of
what
the
I was
car.
thinking, if you had a hip,
Yeah, or knee injuries,
injury,
anything.
hip, yeah,
Yep.
something like that, just to make life easier for you, so the pain.
Oh, yeah.
But that's really nice. Now this one too, so
This is the leg lifter, and what it does is it helps you move your legs in and out of the car. So you would put your foot in here and you just lift it and pull your leg in and out. And it's really easy. There's like a wire that's in here, so if you need to adjust it because you have bigger shoes, you can make it bigger, you can make it skinnier. Even if you would need to bend the handle a little bit, you can do that too.
yeah, and it's really easy to keep in your car too.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
take
not-
up a whole lot of room,
right.
really.
You can, right.
And it's got a little handle on it, so
And
if
it's
you want to
light.
hang it somewhere, you could hang it somewhere. Yeah, and it's very light. There's like nothing to this. So it's just something that's nice to be able to help get them in and out of the car.
Yeah. Yeah, because you always see that that's something that's really for the assistance that's needed.
People struggle sometimes, especially if they have
Yeah.
leg injuries.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful, and it's super light. Like when I was feeling, it's just a little wire that goes down it, which is neat. Okay, so that's number 2, and this is pretty neat too.
Yes, this is a seatbelt assister, and what this does is you would run your seatbelt through here, and then you lock it up. There's just these little nubs in the back, but what's nice about it is it sticks your seatbelt out this far, so you only have to reach a little bit, and if people have problems turning in the car or with flexibility, they don't have to try and reach so far behind them to get the seatbelt.
Right.
It sticks it out right there for them, and it's easy to get.
Trying to find it, right.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, so this is nice. This is a nice one. A lot of people do ask me about this one.
And so again, ordering that or finding that, I haven't seen that. So would you think you
Probably
most likely
about
can find it? at Walmart?
$15.
15?
Yeah, I'd say around $15.
Okay.
But yeah, check at your local stores, the auto parts stores.
Right, they may
online.
have it more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, online is just amazing, but if, hopefully somebody local can have this where it's easy to get, because that is really neat.
I think sometimes it's just the popularity of it. If it's something that they see a lot of people are using, it's going to be in your local stores. If they find not so much, you might have to look for it online.
Right, until people really start to pay attention to it, and
Yes.
utilize it. It's great.
Yes.
Okay. And then this has multi-uses. So
Oh yes, this does have multi-uses. This is called the handy bar, and it's because it's handy. If for some reason you get stuck in your car and you can't get out, you can break the window. It has a nice sharp tip on here to break the window. If you would get stuck in your seatbelt and you can't get out, it does have a seatbelt cutter on it here.
Right, tucked in there, like, so it's even like there's a safety mechanism.
Yes.
You can't even.
So you can't
get
cut
cut.
yourself on it or anything, and it's fairly lightweight. It's a non-slip grip on it. The primary focus to use it is to help you give leverage in and out of your car. So where the latch is on your car, where your door closes, you stick this in here and you can lean on this.
I think that's great.
And it's not hard to put in or take out, so it's easy. It's nothing that you have to install again.
Right.
So this makes it nice.
And I have seen those, and that just to be able to push yourself up from sitting down. Once you hopefully swivel out,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
then you can put. But I think that's very helpful.
And I've seen other ones like this too. They come in different varieties. So some will have flashlights on them. Some will have like a little blinker. If you're in a hazardous situation, it'll flash. There are some that are round as opposed to being, in a line like this.
Right.
And they're different prices too. It depends on where you buy them. These can range
a little bit more.
a little bit more.
And what is that called again?
It's called the handy bar.
The handy bar. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so in case as the viewers are watching, if you want to
The
buy
handy
one
bar.
of those. So we're going to go through this one more before we take a quick break.
Okay.
Onto the show. But this is neat too.
This is the panoramic mirror. And what this does is you just attach it to the back of the mirror that's already in your car, and it screws right down. So installation is not complicated, but it does give you a very large viewing area now that you can see out your rear view mirror to check your blind spots and see if there's any cars that are actually next to you.
Much more helpful for vision.
Yes, very
Perfect.
much more helpful. And a lot of people do like this one too. And they do make one, if you don't have like your regular skinny mirror, you have one that has OnStar. They do make one that has a thicker background on it that it will slip over top and you just screw it down just like this one.
Which is great. Well, listen, this is a quick a very quick recap of some of the items that can help people, seniors or
Absolutely.
people who may just need a little bit of assistance as they're driving. And this portion of the show went very quick. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a break from the legislative report.
Did you know that the chamber of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives contains a painting depicting the 24 hours of the day? Located in the center of the ceiling, the mural titled The Hours was created by artist Edwin Austin Abbey. This wonderful masterpiece charts the setting of the sun, moon, and the many stars that grace the heavens. 24 maidens, who each represent an hour of the day, begin each day in light and gladness and ends in solemn drapery carried on still shoulders. Now you know.
Welcome back to the Legislative Report. I'm State Representative Rosemary Brown, and I'm with Tracy Fox, and Traffic Safety Coordinator, and also one of my wonderful staff members and assistants, Linda Miglio, from my office. So she has volunteered her car and her service so that we talked about the CarFit program, but we are going to go through the CarFit program and see how Linda's car is and how she's set up. So here we go, Tracy. Let's see, Linda, you ready?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I have a bunch of questions for you. Okay, so are you the only driver of the vehicle?
No.
No, so you share it with your
My husband.
Okay, well, we're going to set this up for you today, and if your husband would want to do one, then we just set up an appointment with him and we can run him through it as well.
Yeah, he
Okay.
usually just uses what I do.
Do you normally wear your seatbelt?
Absolutely.
Can you put it on for me, please? Okay, so you look good here. This here is just a little bit low though. So what we would suggest is that you just move this up a little bit so that the seatbelt falls across your shoulder like this. Okay, because when it's down here, it's not going to hold you in the right way. Okay, so we're going to also take a little measurement to see how far away from the steering wheel that you're sitting. So this is 10 inches, so you should be sitting 10 inches. So you're a little bit close. So you might want to back up your seat just a little bit, and we'll take that again. Perfect. Perfect. Do you have any issues with seeing over the steering wheel or anything? No? Okay, and you can read your speedometer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you know where your blinkers are and how they work? Your turn signals?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we also want to check the line of sight above the steering wheel, so we're going to set this here. And because I can see that you're looking already over the top of this, that you can see very well over the top of your steering wheel. So that is not a problem. When it comes to movements in your car, do you have any issues moving your feet from the gas pedal to the brake pedal?
No.
Can you just demonstrate that for me? Okay, brake. Beautiful. That was perfect. This doesn't take very long. It's just a matter of just asking a bunch of questions. I need you to be able to turn your neck. So can you turn your head to that side over there? Can you see out the back window?
No.
You can't see out the back window?
No.
Okay, how about if you turn your head this way? Can you see out this window here?
No. This isn't.
The headrest is in the way? Okay. We're gonna adjust your mirrors, okay? So I'm gonna have to close your door, and then can you put your window down for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So this is just a step-by-step evaluation that we go through just to see if everything is in place. And these little things, the little adjustments that are made, just helps them be safer drivers.
Right, and understand where there might be some issue. Okay.
Correct. Okay. So the way that you have your... No, wait.
Because I can't see out the window.
Put your head up there again. No, actually it's adjusted at the right spot because your ear should be running halfway through here. So where you're at is good. So what we're going to help you with is the mirror adjustments. Once we adjust them, you'll be able to see into your blind spots. Okay? Yes. Now normally most people have their mirrors adjusted that they can see the sides of their car. Is that how yours is at? Okay. What I want you to do is just lean a little bit towards me. Okay? And you're going to move this mirror out until you can just past the side of your car. Now, if I stand here, which would be your blind spot, can you see me?
Yes,
Okay.
a little bit.
The way that you had your mirrors before, this would have been the only thing that you would have been looking at. So with my standing out here, you wouldn't have seen me at all.
I can see you. Am I supposed to see
Yes, you're supposed to see me.
all of you?
Yes. Because what that does is puts your mirror now that you can see if there's a vehicle in your blind spot.
I find that pretty interesting because you didn't really,
It was just
she really didn't see. She didn't have the full vision of her blind spot.
exactly.
So the way that it was adjusted before.
It's just a little adjustment.
Right.
And that's how much of a difference it can make between being able to see in a blind spot and not seeing a blind spot at all.
Right, great.
Should it be the same way on the
Yes.
other side?
So now we're going to go to the other side?
Yes, now we'll go to the other side, and then what you're going to want to do is lean over that way a little bit and make the same adjustment that your mirror would be just past being able to see the side of the car.
I see you.
So now she can see you.
Can you
In
see
full.
me now? Awesome. Can you see me in your rear view mirror?
Yes.
Yeah, so she can see you now too.
Beautiful. And that is pretty much what the evaluation is just going step by step through the things that you normally use that you don't think about, like your seat and adjusting your headrest and adjusting the mirrors and making sure that you can reach your pedals and that you know like where your hazard lights are. Can you turn your hazard lights on for me? Beautiful. They should all be working.
Now,
Yep.
Tracy, are they working?
Yep, they're working.
The distance from the wheel to her chest. Did you mention that in the beginning? That how important that was because of the airbag?
Yes, it shouldn't
Okay.
be any less than 10 inches, and that's what this is. This is measured to be 10 inches. If they're sitting too close to the steering wheel, what happens is if the airbag would go off and they're involved in a crash, it's not going to function the way that it should. It won't be able to expand all the way like it should, and it'll give them injuries before it
A
does
higher
what it's-
pressure than's necessary by the time it fully.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great.
So where should your hands be on the
When you're driving, normally it's 10 and 2, wherever you're comfortable. The airbag is in this position here. Okay, so this is the part that's going to come off the steering wheel. Okay. Some steering wheels are a little bit bigger where they'll have a whole encasement of a steering wheel that goes across. Then that's kind of when you have to be a little more concerned about where your hand position is. But that's what these little ribs are here in the steering wheel. If you come around, there's a little bump. It's like the little comfort bump.
Okay.
There you go.
So 10 and 2 is the normal location. That's right. I do remember that. I do remember that. Now listen, before Linda gets out of the car, so that was a basic car fit check, which is simple, but we often don't take the time to do it.
Correct.
And I thought it was really interesting, like I said, on the vision issues on the sides, how much she could have adjusted for better vision, which was good. The couple of the items that we talked about, the swivel seat, the
Handy bar?
Handy bar. I forget the name of that. Let's see how we can maybe put that into a little bit of action in the car here.
Absolutely.
To show how it works individually. So I'm going to grab
Sounds
the
good.
handy bar
Okay.
and
put this stuff
let
down
you
here.
show us how the handy bar works, which I think is great. The
This is
safety
so
piece is
cool.
to get out the window and
Yep.
to cut the seatbelt's great, but
I'm just gonna
you
open
see
your door
so
here.
often people trying to get out of the car and really struggling with
Nope.
these strains.
This just fits right in here, and if you would want to try to get out of the car, you can lean on this thing to get in, you can lean on it to get out, and that's all there is. There's like no permanent installation of it. It just slips right in, and that's
Right.
it.
So Linda, if you try to get up, you take your seatbelt off, and let's say you had a little bit more of a difficult time, which you don't, but as its point, if you did have a hard time getting out of a car, you swivel over, and this helps push you
up
up,
on it.
which I think is just amazing.
Well, I do have trouble getting out of the car. I have bad
And you can
knees.
use
So
it when
right.
you get back in too. It gives you that just a little something to lean on.
Stability.
Yes.
That to me, I've seen so many people really struggle try to get out of their car, and that's just a great
Because they don't have
tool.
anything to grab onto.
Yeah. So that's great. So then this is, so again, we're going to repeat, this in here is, God forbid, an accident of some sort and you need to get your seatbelt off.
That will
There's
cut your
a
seatbelt.
razor blade in there that is protected so you can never get it, but it's right inside there. And that can cut the seatbelt and this can break your window.
Break the window.
So if, God forbid, like water or anything else, you can't get out
Exactly.
of your car, you break the window. So great little device there. All right, and then we're going to go to
Our leg lifter.
Yeah, so again, Linda, if you do have bad knees, but if you had a real problem with lifting your leg to get out of the car,
So what you do is this just slips over your foot, and you just pull on it and rotate your leg. So you would slip your foot in there, and then rotate in and out.
Yeah, that's a nice little tool as well. Right, and you could do leg by leg, right? So if you
Yep.
had to use it for both legs,
Yes, you can use it going both in and out of the car to help you get in and out.
right, makes it much easier for people.
Okay.
And again, that's lightweight to keep in the car. And then this is something that
This
so
is our swivel seat.
we're making Linda get in and get out a lot. We
Get in
should
and out of the car.
We should have kept the handy bar for you, Linda. So
Now this
But-
is the swivel seat, and this is all the installation there is to this. You just sit it here, and then when you sit on it, it'll spin for you to get in, and it'll spin for you to get out.
that I think is so.
It's the sit and spin.
Did you feel it spin?
Yes, but I also hit my knee.
Right. So it's just a very simple
It's very simple.
and easy to kind of keep in and take out of a car or move it with other people. Okay, so we're making Linda get back in again. So
You can use
Linda's,
this
now.
swivel seat.
Now you use the swivel seat to get back in. We have, this is the seat belt
Yes.
to help if you don't have rotation.
This is a seat belt grabber. And all this does is you hook this onto your seat belt. Okay. And what happens with this is when you go to reach for your seat belt, it's right here. You don't have to try and reach all the way back behind your seat to try and get it.
That. Very nice. So that makes it a little bit easier.
A little
as
bit
well.
easier.
So these again are some great tools, I think, to help seniors and anybody with an injury, more safely drive and feel
And there's-
comfortable driving.
There's more that are on the market too. They have an adaptable thing for your car keys. If you need pedal blocks because you can't reach the pedals, they make pedal blocks so that you can reach them. There's an adapter for your gas tank, for the gas cap. So
Right.
there's a lot of things out there that can help.
Right. And so if there's any questions with that, what's the best way for people to contact you?
They can either call me, and that's at 570-954-8310, or they can reach me by email. It's at tfox@nchsn.org.
Great, great. And listen, we're almost ready to close out the show, which goes very fast. But I'm going to ask you one question that I think you had said earlier in the show. This isn't about taking away licenses from seniors. This is about making seniors as safe as they can when they're driving and having all the visual that they need and really enhancing. But also to try to make them aware of if there is some sort of issue that they may be having.
Yes.
So what do you feel is the largest concern or the largest question you may get from seniors in any way to help them, or is there one thing that it's a glares it's asked all the time?
It is issues with them getting in and out of the car. And the mirrors. The mirrors are the big one because they don't realize how much of a difference just that little tilt can make.
Right, and then the larger mirror also
Yes.
that we showed earlier in the
panoramic.
show, the panoramic is a visual aid to help a little bit broaden the scope of the vision.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
Great. Well, great. There's quick little information, but I know, like you said, there's a lot more information. And again, Tracy's available to do programs with different groups and to try to help out in any way. And obviously, you just gave your information as well. And if there's any questions, also people can feel free to contact my office. So thank you, Tracy.
yes.
It went Linda, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It went very fast, the show. And again, I'm State Representative Rosemary Brown. Thank you for joining the Legislative Report. If you have any questions regarding this show or any other state-related matters, please feel free to contact my office.